Hey, everybody, great Monday night, great Monday, April 22nd. It is Anissa Short once again here in the Conversations with Chosen Pen podcast, welcoming you once again for being our fabulous guest. Don't forget, this is the year for more in 2024. I would absolutely love it if you would take the time right now to share this podcast with all of your friends, your family. Even if you don't like them, share the podcast, okay? Because the information that we share today will be beneficial for almost everyone. Dr. Norma McLaughlin, the host and CEO of Chosen Pen and the host of the Chosen Pen podcast, or Conversations with Chosen Pen, I should say, extends her greetings. She is recuperating from travel, and we're getting ready for a big event this weekend. Another intimate TEDx experience, you guys. This event is going to be really I don't know, a combination of a lot of goodness. You know how it is at Thanksgiving. You have some a good meal. You got the good turkey. You got the good potato salad. You got the good desserts, and you got the good company. Well, that's what this Saturday is going to be. Very reminiscent of that, but it's not Thanksgiving, and we're not serving turkey. This particular event is called A Salute to Mothers. It is a precursor to the Mother's Day month, which is the month of May. It is an event hosted by Chosen Pen Publishing. It is a salute to 21st century motherhood. Everything about that day is centered on the importance and the vital contribution of moms. We have got a book signing, a book launching on that day, co-authored by myself and seven other fabulous women. Becoming the Shiro, the Motherhood Mantle is going to be their launch rather. There's going to be a TEDx conversation, actually two panel conversations. You know how women get together and talk about things that are pertinent to women. Well, that's what we're going to be doing. We've got two panel conversations coming along that's going to be engaging in conversation of what the 21st century mom looks like. Women from all walks of life. We have lunch. We've got door prizes. We're going to have a little shopping because you know how we do as women, right? And then this event will culminate with a fashion show. So today I am honored to have quite a few of the personalities that are tied to this event. And I would be remiss if I didn't give you an opportunity to meet them. But before I do that, here's what I want you to know. Tickets are on sale now in Eventbrite. Use this link if you order your ticket. And as I said before, make sure you share this with your friends, your family, and maybe even the people that you don't quite like. Okay. We want as many people out as possible. This is all about women. So grab your girlfriends, even if you're not a biological mom. I'm sure as a woman, you've made an impact. You may have godchildren. You may have a puppy. So you're a dog mom. All right. That counts. We're going to allow that to count as well. Get your ticket now. Tickets are on sale until Wednesday. If you want to be a vendor, I believe we have a few vendor spots available, but that link will tie you to everything. And then if you are a business owner and you're not able to attend because you've got some other obligations, feel free to donate a door prize and we'll make sure that your business gets the recognition that it so deserves. So that said, welcome again to Conversations with Chosen Pen. I am your co-host, Dr. Anissa Short, and I have got Amy L. Sweeney, Dr. Portia Basham, Miss Jennifer Baker, and Miss Anne-Marie Ziegler. All four of these lovely women are tied to the April 27th event, and I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves. They're going to tell you a little bit about who they are, what they do, and how they are going to serve as a part of the success of the 27th. So let's start with you, Amy L, because you were the first to plug in. So you're muted. If you just unmute and then tell everybody who you are, fabulousness.
Hello, everyone. It's so nice to be here tonight with all of you lovely ladies. My name is Amy L. Sweeney. I am the co owner of One Stop Academy. It's a private barber school here in Fayetteville, North Carolina. I'm tied to the event on the 27th. I was fortunate enough to have the opportunity to co-author Becoming the Shiro, the Motherhood Mantle with Dr. Anissa Short. I'm very excited about its release and what all the ladies have poured into the book to share with women all around the world that we're connected to in some way, shape, or form. And I'm so excited to be here tonight with all you lovely ladies to have this conversation.
Thanks so much, Amy L. I appreciate you being a part of the book project. Listen, I love your title. Her title, you guys, is Grace and the Crock Pot. So you've got to read it for yourself to get the gist of what that all means. but I'm pretty sure you're going to be able to relate to the story. So thank you again, Cookie. I'm sorry, Amy L. for plugging in. All right, so Dr. Portia Basham, what come on in and tell us who you are and what you do and how you're connected to April 27th.
Well, good evening, everybody. Good evening. It is an honor to be here and to be chatting with all the lovely ladies. I am Dr. Portia Basham. I am originally from the lovely island of St. Lucia in the Caribbean. I'm a mom of two boys and a wife to a lovely husband, a mother of two four-leggeds. That's neither here nor there. Okay, don't. It's neither here nor there when it comes to that. But I am a brand and business strategist, author, minister of the gospel, but I am dedicated to helping faith based aspiring new entrepreneurs, but achieve their purpose whilst we are staying true to biblical principles. I think my mission could be, if I put it in a nutshell, is guiding my clients to creating that strong foundation in faith whilst providing them the tools they need to build their business, but to also show up on purpose because God's called them to show up on purpose. I am the founder of She Ministries, and She Ministries is an online community for leading ladies as yourself. We come together to heal from those struggles that we nicely hide away. You know, those struggles that keep us from being the best that we could be. Those struggles that we think that would not affect us in the future, but it does. So we come together in She Ministries to help them to go through that brokenness, go through the healing, and to be the whole woman that God has called us to be. I am super excited about the event on Saturday. I get the opportunity to talk from the perspective of a mom raising a son on the spectrum. So I am hoping to meet you all there, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Portia. And then we have Miss Anne-Marie. We're going to come back to Fayetteville real quick. Anne-Marie Ziegler, CEO and founder of Array Publishing and Marketing. Tell us, Anne-Marie, a little bit about you, what your business offers, and how are you connected to this event?
All right, I'm Anne Marie Ziegler. I'm the CEO and founder of Array Publishing and Marketing, and we are now a media boutique. We have a location off of Morganton Road, and so anything from you think you need a logo, but that's all you know, all the way up to having a podcast, telling you how to monetize it, um, advertising, marketing, online, everything that you can think of that's has to do with marketing, advertising, and media. We're able to do that. And Array is always supporting the Chosen Pen as a media sponsor or media backup person. Um, and so we're real excited again to be connected with Chosen Pen in one of their events. And then I am going to be talking today about my granddaughter who is on the spectrum.
Okay, thanks so much, Anne-Marie. Anne-Marie has been a staple here in the city, I think, a little over 10 years in business. When it comes to women, she's right there supporting causes and events that support women. She also, as she already said, is a media partner. So whenever we have our authors publish books and when they become bestsellers and things of that nature, we, depending on the client's relationship with us, they get highlighted automatically in Array magazine or in the digital platform and things of that nature. So thanks, Anne Marie, for all that you do to support your community and especially Chosen Pen. Now, last but not least, we have Miss Jennifer Baker. I mentioned to you all before that this event on the 27th rather is a combination of a lot of goodness. And so we always want to have an element of fun and fashion. And that's what Jennifer brings to the table. Jennifer Baker, tell everyone who you are, what you do, and how are you tied to April 27th? You're muted. You're muted.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Baker. I run a modeling agency here in Fayetteville, North Carolina, but we work with models all over. Thanks to the internet, we have that opportunity. So, my baby is producing fashion shows. So, I decided about a couple months ago that I wanted, Anissa and I decided together that we wanted to work together and bring a fashion show featuring moms. And you didn't necessarily have to be a mom to walk in the show, but as long as you had a mom in your life, it could be a sister, dog, cat, it really wouldn't matter. We just want to celebrate mom. So my goal is to come in, bring everyday women along with some of the professional models, and to have a fun show and give the women an opportunity who might not have that opportunity otherwise, just to show, their confidence and have a good time, because that's really what this show is all about, having fun and featuring some of the local boutiques.
I love the fact that Jennifer has always been an advocate of supporting other small businesses. I mean, as a small business herself, as she told you, she develops talent, not just for modeling, for even acting, but whenever she hosts a show, she's pulling in designers and boutiques, not just in Fayetteville, but in other areas. So I've been blessed with the opportunity to see the designs and styles from people out of New York, parts of Georgia. I don't know. Jennifer, touch on that a little bit. Do you have boutiques already lined up or do we have
Um,
to wait?
Well, we do. We have a headliner boutique lined up. And what I mean by headliner is someone that we've been working with over the last year, to be a part of our next big thing. So this is our next big thing. And that boutique is called Unique is Me. It's a really cute spelling. And she's going to just grace the catwalks that day. And then we have some other boutiques lined up as well. So you guys are in for a treat.
This event, it contains a lot of includes a lot of people from the Fayetteville area, but we also have people from other states. For example, Dr. Portia is out of Florida. We have another co-author of the book that's out of Virginia, out of the state of Mississippi. We have women coming in that are part of the panel that are from the state of Georgia and various cities in the state of Georgia. So when I talk about what Chosen Pen is hosting, is not we are very much determined to bring our community with us. But at the same time, we are very much on purpose with making sure people outside of the community get the exposure that they deserve. And, it's because we really grow in community. So your community, thanks to the internet, is not just where you live. It's anywhere you choose to be. And so that's what this event is all about. So let's shift gears now. I mentioned that the event has a topic where we have some conversation about being a 21st century mom, what that looks like. Some of our panelists are in politics. We have a panelist that's a military mom. We have one or two panelists that are in the area of education, technology. We have mothers that are in the multimedia. We have one that's a screenwriter and has been on Broadway. We have another one that produces movies and commercials and things of that nature. We have a lot of variety with with this panel. And while everyone's experiences are different, especially when it comes to their professions and things of that nature, one thing they have in common is they deal with the same things as a mom. And that's one of the benefits. That's one of the messages that we want to get out, is that, yeah, you might be a different mother. You may wear, our hats may not be identical, but we are very much connected in that we have some similarities. One of the emphasis is that Dr. Norma has endeavored to tap into. Of course, April is Autism Awareness Month, is how moms that have children that have been diagnosed as on the spectrum, that varies. I mean, from one end to the next. All children are not created equal. And so Anne-Marie Ziegler is the grandmother she's the caregiver of her granddaughter who is autistic, who's been diagnosed as autistic. Amy L, retired military, has a cute little boy named Joshua that looks just like her, Josiah. And of course, to meet him is to love him, but he's diagnosed as autistic. And so does Dr. Portia. She has a son that is diagnosed as being on the spectrum. I want you guys to one by one, I don't want to focus on the challenge that it might bring about, because within raising children, period, is a challenge. But I do want you to tap into, from your own personal experience, what would you give, what's an aha moment for you, or a coping mechanism, or something that you can extend to another mom who might be newly found to be in this interesting situation, if that's a word. Anne Marie, let's start with you. You're the grandmother. Your daughter Angie, who we love, transitioned, and now you get the honor of raising your granddaughter. So, as a grandmother working with an autistic granddaughter, tell us a little bit about your granddaughter, and then what would be that nugget that you would extend to someone else?
Her name is Abby, and when I got her, she was 6 years old, and she is now 9 years old. It's hard to believe. Um, it's been very interesting. I knew some of the mechanisms and how to cope with things from things that Angie had told me, and or things that she had learned. But I quickly found out that there was a lot that I did not know, and um, they say that autistic children don't have a filter, but with Abby, I'm not sure if that's the autistic part or the Angie and Marie part that comes out in her. So um, I found an autism parent magazine that's online, and they send out a newsletter. And so there's been a lot of good stuff in that. I've done a lot of research. And I think one of the things is people not understanding, she looks fine. So there's not really anything wrong with her. And uh, unfortunately, it's mainly family members, and they want to treat her the same way that they would treat their child or another child that's that same age. Um, but there's just, little things, and you have to be aware of it. And I found out that explaining stuff to her, as though not like she's a child, but um, as a normal, everyday, intelligent person, and she is able to grasp it. And I have also learned that when she wakes me up at 5:30 in the morning, that she is going to start with 2 million questions, because they like clarity. And so I've just forgot about I need a cup of coffee before you start talking to me. Um, but she does, as the others can tell you, it's a blessing, and they give you a lot of energy. And I said it's sad that I have a college degree, but I have to go online to find out how to do third grade math. So um, I dislike homework more than she does.
I know. You know what, Anne Marie? I'm going to say this. I don't know that it has anything to do with her diagnosis of autism for third grade math, because I remember when my sister was helping my nephews with third grade math, it was like a foreign language to the rest of us. We were like, forget it. You're going to learn how to do this math like we would learn, and we'll figure it out later. We'll figure out the rest later. So what I heard you say is that one of the coping mechanisms, or the things that have assisted you with your transition in embracing where you are now, is that one of the keys you have is that magazine, the online magazine that offers tips and tools to assist those working with autistic children. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that, Anne Marie. All right, Amy L., what about you? Tell everybody about
Yes.
that wonderful little boy you have.
So I have a awesome little boy named Josiah. He's 9. And we found out we knew he was autistic long before the diagnosis. I come from a family of educators, and when he was about 18 months, we started seeing some of the, typical signs, typical symptoms, typical traits of autism. He wasn't officially diagnosed until he was about 3. But however, it didn't scare us. So I want to leave that nugget with any mother that might be watching this. If your child's recently been diagnosed, don't allow the diagnosis to bring fear to you as a mother, or how your child will turn out or their future. Listen, children on the spectrum are so smart. They're so capable, but you have to tap into their strengths. And so that's what we did with Josiah. And we've taught him, and we've established um, a standard with him that what he can do, he will do. You know, and so this little boy, he is. If you meet him, I don't know anybody that does not love him once they meet him. He's so funny. He's so loving. He's so giving. He has this big bright personality. He thinks he's a superhero in his mind. He is Sonic and the Super Mario Brothers combined. Um, and and just like Anne-Marie said, you know, when you see him, you don't initially think that he's on the spectrum. You think he's a typical 9-year-old little boy. But he's just been a joy to our life and to everyone that's come to know him. He's so smart and he's so energetic. I mean, this child can look at something one time and then he can do it. I'm convinced he can drive because he's always telling me that I'm doing something wrong and he's only 9. So I have to be careful of, you know, everything I do and say around him because he absorbs everything like a sponge. Children on the spectrum, their minds are so unique. And sometimes I'm beginning to think we might not be normal and they are, you know. But I mean, it's so much that I could say about Josiah. You would just have to meet him. And just like the previous, you know, advice that we were given, find resources, research. Don't just take what someone tells you about a child on the spectrum and as that's just it. There's so much information out there. Don't be misguided by the diagnosis, you know, and just give yourself grace. It's not easy every day, you know, with them being on the spectrum, they do go through challenges as they grow and mature. But don't allow yourself to feel like it's your fault. Don't guilt yourself. Don't do any of those things, you know. And I don't know what your faith is, but I think that God gives us the children we're meant to have. That means He has strengthened you. He's given you everything that you need to pour into that child for that child to be the best person that they can be when they enter into society or however, whatever or however they may live out their life. God's giving you everything that you need for them. So tap into that and don't be discouraged. Know that you are strengthened. Know that you can raise that child. And if, you know, if you get a chance to read the book, I talk about a little bit more in the book. Give yourself grace. You got this, sis. You really do. You know. So don't be discouraged and just love on them. Love on them the best that you can, because they need it. They're going to have enough challenges in the world, people against them, people questioning their abilities. Don't give them peace at home as you're raising them.
That's good. That is really good, Amy L. Thank you so much for that insight. Dr. Portia, Dr. Portia, come on in this room. Tell us, give us the advice. I know you've got something to offer.
Let's see, Master Zach. My Master Zach is a cuddler. He really loves cuddling. He he's a cheerful child. I like the fact that God understood the way He built me. There are certain things that other parents have to deal with that I know I was not built for that. Praise the Lord. So Zach is enough. Most of the ladies say, there's a grace that comes with your child, you know, that you are able to handle what it is that comes across your table. Two things I will say for the mothers that are in that community. Number one, adjust yourself. We all have an idea of what we want our children to be when we are carrying this baby. We all have a vision of how they would have been a doctor, a lawyer, and this and all of that and the third. But when we get the diagnosis, yes, we are going to take a minute and fall apart. And yes, we are going to try to figure out how we could make things happen with the strike of a wand. But when all the dust has settled, my advice is to adjust accordingly to what your family needs. And that way you will make life a little bit easier and a little bit more friendly, you know, for you to survive. It is easy to survive. Don't go striving for thriving because the needle changes every time you wake up. Do not strive for thriving, strive for surviving and master the key of surviving the situation. Because once you survive that, then there is hope for the next day. All you have to do is survive the 24 hours that God has graced you with every single time, and you will be okay. And then, number two, I will say, don't just put all your energy in your child, because I am 100% that your environment involves a husband and other children and other family members and friends. So do not just isolate yourself only to your child, because if you do that, then you lose the opportunity for the help. You lose the opportunity to for your marriage to flourish. You lose the opportunity of putting time into the other children that's in the family. You lose the opportunity to be the woman that God has called you to be. God didn't just call you to be a mama bear. God called you to be the wife, the mother, maybe the businesswoman, the daughter, all of those things God has called you to do. You just have to tap into how you are going to balance all those different hats and be the best version of yourself.
I love it. I absolutely love it. You know what? The advice that you guys gave really could apply to any mom. Really could. If you've never been a mother before and you've got a new child, a newborn baby or daughter or son, and it's a new adventure. So you need to have the resources in place. You need to have grace in a crock pot. You need to have a community. You know what I'm saying? You need to learn how to balance and juggle. So the fact that you all have children with superpowers does not mean that you are alone. That's another commonality. It's just different. It's not that it's anything. It's unique, but it's not necessarily different. Does that make sense what I'm saying? I want to share this story. My husband and I've been married 25 years, and maybe after maybe the third year, we went to visit family in Maryland, and my aunt had a neighbor who had a little son, smart as a whip, and he wore glasses. He looked just like a little nerd. I mean, he just looked like a scientist. And of course, he had just been diagnosed or given the diagnosis as being autistic. And the mother was devastated at the diagnosis. She says, "But I knew my son was unique." Now, while his socialization skills were not he was very, very articulate, had plenty of conversation. And when it came to math, he was beyond his years in being able to understand math, right? But they had to work on his socialization. That was, one of the, I guess you could say, limited areas that he had, as far as what was appropriate and inappropriate, that kind of thing. Well, this is Autism Month, Autism Awareness Month, and my aunt sends us a article of where he was featured in a magazine. He's now an engineering student in Florida, living on his own. And I can remember his mother saying, "I know there are areas where he needs to be polished, but I'm choosing to pour into the areas where he's strongest." And so now here he is, a 20-something-year-old young man in engineering. I think it's like, I don't want to misrepresent. I don't know if it's bioengineering. Engineering period just got me beyond. It's like, you got to be really smart. But the math that he was so good at a 5-year old age, his mom, because she poured into that, I have no doubt is what placed him where he is right now. And he was diagnosed as, given the diagnosis as autistic. I have a cousin. We knew early along, what we saw where he was kind of limited in certain areas. He wasn't developing, but nevertheless, he could see something one time and memorize it. He could hear a song immediately and could tell you the words. And when the video games came out, I think the first one was Atari. Now I'm aging myself, but he was a master on the video games. He could master the video games. So while he was limited in his social skills, social graces, he was challenged there. He was far beyond the rest of us in other areas. So we celebrated him where he was strongest, and we knew as family this is how Cedric is. So we didn't shun him because he wasn't quite where he needed to be in this area, because he's still family. So what? All of us have a weakness. We have weaknesses and strengths. It's just some of them is not as are not as prevalent or as visible to others as as others are, with autistic children. So I commend you for what you're doing as a parent, a grandparent. I know for a fact I've seen Amy L be the advocate for her son when it came to childcare and things of that nature. Honey, listen, all her military skills were going to be enforced in taking care of her baby. I want to close out with one last person to comment, and that's Jennifer. Jennifer is very much a very important part of the fun that we're going to have on the 27th. And Jennifer, why do you encourage people to register for this event?
I encourage people to register for this event because this is a time for women to just let your hair down and be free. There's no judgment zone. We're all here to have a good time. And it's important to me that all women, regardless of what your dress size is, what your height is, the color of your skin, it's so important to me that women understand that we all have something to bring to the table. And we're all beautiful, and we need to focus on how amazing we really are. So yeah, we're going to put on pretty clothes and the models are going to go down the catwalk. But at the end of the day, when all the clothes come off, we basically only have ourselves. And so we want to feel good about who we are. So that's one thing I like about working with Anissa and Chosen Pen. They've always made people in the community, including myself, feel that my business, I could bring something to the table. And that's important to me as a woman. And because they've given me that, I want to pour that back in also.
Thanks, Jennifer. I appreciate it. So again, April 27th, that's a Saturday. Now, I was told that here in the city of Fayetteville, we have another festival going on. But guess what? Our event is going to be in the morning from 10 and we'll be done by 3. So then you can go take off your cute clothes and put on your comfy clothes and you can still go to the other festival. So there's enough room for everybody. Get your tickets now. The tickets are available until Wednesday. Again, there's going to be the 21st century conversation about what makes women and moms so fabulous and how we juggle it all and how we do it all despite the numerous hats that we wear. We're going to have a lunch. Did I tell y'all we're going to feed you? Now, you know we got to feed you. We're in the South. It just wouldn't be right. So we're going to have lunch. We're going to have a few vendors. You'll get a chance to meet the panelists up close and personal, those that are going to be on the stage, engaging in the conversation. And then, of course, during the lunch and just before the lunch is over, we're going to culminate the event with fun and fashion featuring moms and models with a fashion show with Metro Faces International. Thank you to Jennifer Baker. Tickets are available today. I'm excited about the event. I really am. I'm just every aspect of it brings value, and when we bring it all together, it's kind of like a good gumbo. Just bring all the ingredients. I like to use the analogy of good food because you all can relate. So we're looking forward to you being there again. If you want to attend the event, get your tickets now. If you want to be a vendor, you can. We do have a few vendor spots available. And if you just want to make a donation towards the door prize, towards the cause of it all, we got a DJ that's going to be there. It's going to be a very energetic, energy filled experience. And again, we are saluting motherhood. Everyone, as I've said earlier today, Lottie, Dottie, everybody needs to be there that can be there. So any last words from anyone that you want to share before we close out?
For anyone that's interested, how much are the vendor tables?
The vendor tables are 65. That includes your lunch.
Okay.
So we're gonna feed the vendors too. You know how when you go to mama's house, everybody gets to eat, right? That's what we're gonna do. So your vendors will have their lunch included. But thank you to our special guest. Thank you for being a very important part, a very significant part of the success of this event. We look forward to seeing you all on the 27th. The tickets are available now on Eventbrite until Wednesday. And so on behalf of Dr. Norma McLaughlin and myself and the entire team at Chosen Pen, we thank you for your support in advance, and we look forward to seeing you guys this Saturday, 10 a.m. at A Salute to Mothers, 21st Century Motherhood. Have a great night, everybody.